Good evening, dear dreamers, and welcome to Whispers of the Past on the Sleepy Story. Tonight, we set aside the cares of today and drift into the sunlit villages of a Nubian community. Picture a place where the scent of crushed herbs and roasted sorghum fills the air, and healers blend remedies to soothe their kin. This is a land of care and wisdom, where healing binds the people to the earth. Our tale follows Amina, a young healer in her village, whose days are filled with mixing potions and tending ailments. Through her eyes will wander the bustling riverbanks. There's no rush here, no loud battles or sudden twists, just the steady rhythm of a day in ancient Nubia, where every remedy holds a touch of care. So, find a cozy spot, let your shoulders soften, and breathe deeply as we step into a world long past but never forgotten. Let's begin. Imagine a Nubian village at dawn, where the Nile's banks glow under the rising sun, and the community wakes with a gentle hum. The air is warm, scented with crushed herbs, roasted sorghum, and the faint sweetness of date palms. Farmers call out, tending crops, their voices blending with the chatter of weavers and the soft ripple of the river. Amid this lively scene, a young woman named Amina walks a quieter path. She carries a basket of herbs, her hands dusted with aloe. Amina is a healer, one of the village's keepers of remedies. Her mud brick hut, tucked near the river, is her sanctuary, filled with mortar and the warm glow of a reed lamp. Today, she has work to do: blend a salve for a trader, teach her nephew, and prepare an offering for the village. But first, she must gather herbs by the Nile, navigating the village's bustle and her neighbors' needs. Let's follow her, step by gentle step, into the heart of ancient Africa, a soft glow that paints the earthen walls in shades of gold. The air is warm, scented with the faint sweetness of dried dates stored in clay jars, their surfaces smooth under her fingers. She rises from her woven mat, its fibers soft against her skin, and stretches, her movements slow, like the gentle flow of the Nile River nearby. The hut is simple, its beams sturdy, with shelves lined with tools, mortar pestles, herb baskets, each placed with care. She kneels by a low platform, its wood smoothed by years of use, and scoops a handful of roasted sorghum from a jar, its nutty warmth filling her senses as she chews, the taste grounding her in the new day. Outside, the village stirs. It sounds a soft hum that drifts through the window, children laughing, goats bleating, the distant clatter of looms weaving flax. She needs fresh herbs, though, the kind plucked from the Nile's banks, and she gathers a woven basket, its fibers rough under her touch. The air is scented with the faint tang of aloe from the shells, and she breathes deeply, feeling the day's rhythm begin, steady and calm, like the beat of an adungu harp. She steps outside, her sandals slapping softly against the packed earth, the ground warm under her feet. The sun is low, casting long shadows across the mud brick huts, their roofs thatched with reeds, swaying in the breeze. A child runs past, chasing a stray duck, its quacks echoing, and Amina smiles, stepping aside, her basket swaying gently. The air is warm now, scented with the faint sweetness of acacia blossoms from a nearby grove, and she walks to the Nile, the lifeline that feeds the village's herbs. The village is waking, its riverbanks dotted with farmers tending sorghum and traders offering beads. Their colors bright under the dawn, red like ochre, green like malachite, blue like turquoise. Villagers call out in a pre-dynastic tongue, their voices weaving a tapestry of sound, a gentle hum that blends with the river's whispers. Amina passes a familiar weaver, Kofi, her hands threading flax, its fibers gleaming in the sun. She waves, her grin wide, and Amina nods, her heart warmed by the village's pulse, steady and alive. The Nile is a crossroads, where herbs from the banks meet grain from the fields, where elders trade wisdom as freely as goods. Amina reaches the riverbank, the air thick with the fresh scent of water and the sharp temps of wet reeds. She kneels, her tunic brushing the earth, and plucks aloe and myrrh, their leaves crisp under her fingers. The Nile River flows beside her, its current steady, carrying silt that enriches the field's sorghum, millet, dates blooming in the morning light. She works, slowly, filling her basket, the soft scent of herbs rising with each pluck. Her work is quiet, a small leaf in the village's story. But it matters, she knows, like the Nile that binds the fields to the world. The sun climbs higher, warming her shoulders, and she pauses, sitting on a smooth rock, the river's hum soothing her mind. An ibis glides across the water, its wings silent, its reflection rippling in the current. And Amina watches, her heart calm, the day's rhythm steady as her breath. She remembers her grandmother, a healer too, who taught her the art of remedies and the chance to calm a weary soul. The memory is warm, like the sun on her skin, and she hums a soft chant, its melody low, blending with the river's whispers. The basket is nearly full, its herbs green and fresh, and Amina rises, her sandals sinking slightly in the earth. She wipes her hands on her tunic, the herb dust a badge of her craft, and walks back toward the village. The riverbank's hum growing louder, the air now scented with roasted sorghum and acacia blossoms. A trader calls to her, offering a handful of millet, its earthy scent tempting, and she shakes her head with a smile, her focus on the day ahead. The riverbank is busier now, its paths crowded with farmers and healers, their voices a gentle hum like bees in a grove. Amina passes an elder, her voice rising in a tale of the Nile's spirits, and listens for a moment, the words like a lullaby, their rhythm steady and calm. She continues, her sandals soft on the path, the basket heavy against her side. A child runs past, kicking a woven ball, and she steps aside, her movements slow, the day's rhythm guiding her like the river's flow. The air grows warmer, the sun bright, and Amina feels the village's pulse, alive with labor and kinship. She passes a hut where a potter shapes jars, their surfaces gleaming under the sun. The village is a tapestry, each hut a thread, and Amina is part of it, her healing a quiet offering to its life. She thinks of the trader she must meet today, his salve, urgent but not impossible, and plans her remedy, an aloe blend for his burns. She reaches her hut, its mud walls cool under the sun, and steps inside. The air scented with crushed herbs, a familiar comfort. The riverbank's hum is a distant song, and Amina feels Nubia's rhythm, steady and calm, like the Nile's pulse guiding her hands. Amina stands in her hut, the morning light filtering through the window, casting a warm glow on her wooden platform. The air is thick with the soft scent of herbs, a familiar comfort, and she sorts her aloe, its leaves smooth under her fingers. The riverbank's hum drifts in, a gentle reminder of the village's life. But here, in her quiet space, she focuses on her task. A trader, Jabari, waits by the market, needing a salve for his burns from a long journey. She grinds aloe, her hands gentle, the mortar's hum soft and rhythmic, blending with the riverbank's hum. The leaves crush, their gel cool and green, and she adds myrrh, its scent sharp under her touch. and thinks of her grandmother, who blended for traders too, her hands steady, her chants soothing. The hut is cool, its mud walls keeping the heat at bay, and she feels the day's rhythm, steady and calm like the river's flow. A girl appears at her door, her breath quick, her eyes wide. "Amina Jabari needs you," she says, pointing toward the market. She nods, mixing the salve, its texture glistening, and steps outside, the air warm with midday sun. The stalls are a tapestry of color red ochre, green malachite, blue turquoise raiders. Calling out, he sits on a woven mat, his tunic dusted with road dust, his smile wide as Amina approaches. "For your burns," she says, her voice soft, offering the remedy, its scent sharp. Jabari nods, pleased, but teases her about the smell, his eyes twinkling. Amina chuckles softly, holding firm, her heart calm. The markets hum a steady rhythm around them. They talk, their voices low, a dance of words that feels like a chant. Amina thinks of the village's healers, women and men, who blend remedies for health, their work vital to Nubia's heart. Her grandmother's voice echoes in her mind, chanting of herbs for life. She hums the same tune, its melody soft, blending with the market's hum. Jabari agrees to the salve, offering turquoise beads in thanks, their blue heavy in his hands, and Amina accepts, her heart calm, her remedy a thread in the village's trade. She returns to her hut, the salve jar soft under her fingers, and sets it to cool, her hands steady, the soft scent of myrrh rising as she works. The lamp hums, its glow steady, and Amina checks the blend, its texture smooth and fine. She feels a quiet pride, her work binding the village to the earth, and hums her grandmother's chant, its melody low, a prayer for strength and care. The market is at its peak, the air warm with sorghum and dust. Amina steps away to fetch water, her clay jug heavy in her hands, and passes a stall where a jeweler shapes beads, their surfaces gleaming under the sun. Another stall holds flax, its fibers bright and soft, and she pauses, the trader's voice a steady drone like a lullaby. The village's strength is clear, its remedies traded to distant towns. But Amina's work is here, in the small moments of care. She fills her jug, the water cool against her skin, and returns to Jabari, her sandals soft on the earth. Back at the stall, Amina confirms the SOV's use, Jabari's smile warm. She takes the beads, their weight heavy in her hands, and weaves back through the crowd. The markets hum a gentle wave, and she shakes her head with a smile, her focus on the day ahead. The village's fields rise in the distance, their green swaying in the breeze, and she feels Nubia's pulse, warm and alive, in every step she takes. Amina passes an elder, her voice rising in a tale of the Nile's goddess, and listens for a moment. The words like a lullaby, their rhythm steady and calm. The elder's staff hums, its tip-tapping the earth, and Amina feels the village's heart, its remedies woven into every corner of the community. She thinks of her nephew, Kato, who will learn to heal, and prepares a small basket of herbs for his lesson, the day unfolding gently around her. The market's hum grows louder, traders calling, and Amina moves forward, her heart calm, her work a steady rhythm, like the Nile's flow. Amina returns to her hut, the market's hum fading, the air scented with herbs and sorghum. The mortar waits, its stone ready, and she sets the beads aside, her hands moving with care. The soft scent of aloe, a promise of healing. The sun climbs higher, warming Amina's hut, its mud walls cool under the golden light. Jabari's salve is cooling, its jar resting by the platform, and the pestle hums softly, its stone worn and steady. Cato, her young nephew, steps inside, his eyes bright with curiosity, his small hands clutching a toy mortar. The market's hum drifts in, a gentle backdrop. But here, in this quiet space, learning begins, the air scented with aloe and the promise of skill. Cato sets his toy mortar on the mat, its wood wobbly but loved, and Amina inspects it, her fingers brushing over the surface, its texture rough under her touch. She nods, pleased, but points to a loose base, teasing Cato about his haste. Herbs need care, like people, she says, her voice soft, a smile tugging at her lips. Cato laughs, his voice light, and Amina feels a warmth, like teaching her own child, the day's rhythm steady and calm, like the river's flow. The hut is a classroom now, its walls holding the wisdom of generations. Amina sets out baskets of herbs, their scents sharp and earthy, and begins the lesson, her voice steady, explaining how to grind a simple paste. She shows Cato how to crush, her hands moving in a slow rhythm, the soft hum of the pestle blending with the market's hum. She sings a healer's chant, its melody low, teaching Cato the words that name each herb and its purpose. The sunlight spilling through the window, casting shadows that dance on the walls. Cato tries grinding aloe, his hands clumsy at first, the leaves slipping from his grip. Amina guides him, their fingers touching briefly, the aloe's soft scent rising in the air. She thinks of her grandmother, who taught her the same way, her hands patient, her voice a gentle lullaby. The memory is a soft glow, like the reed lamp's light, and Amina shares it with Cato, her words a quiet story of healers past. The market's hum grows louder, traders calling, goats bleating, but Amina keeps the lesson calm, her voice a steady rhythm, like the river's whispers. They move to mixing a paste, a simple task for Cato's small hands. Amina shows him how to blend, her hands precise, the soft hum of the herbs rising as they work. Cato watches closely, his eyes fixed on each step, and Amina feels the weight of her role, passing down knowledge that binds the village's healers. The hut is quiet, save for their voices and the soft hum of the pestle, and the day's rhythm is steady, like the beat of a kora, guiding them forward. She hums the healer's chant again, its melody soft, and Cato joins in, his voice blending with Amina's, a harmony that fills the air. Amina pauses to check the paste, its texture perfect, and returns to Cato, who's practicing the chant. His hands steadier now, the herbs ground evenly. The market's hum is a distant song, and Amina thinks of her grandmother, whose lessons shaped her hands, her heart. She shares another story of a healer who soothed a chief, her remedies a gift to Nubia's heart. Cato listens, his eyes wide, and Amina feels the village's pulse, warm and alive. In their work, the sunlight shifting, the shadows lengthening across the mat. They prepare a small salve, grinding myrrh with care, the soft scent of herbs rising as they work. Amina shows Cato how to mix, her hands guiding his, the soft hum of the pestle, a steady rhythm. She explains the SOV's purpose, how it eases pain, and Cato nods, his hands careful, his focus sharp. Amina feels a quiet pride, her nephew learning the art of healing, a thread in the village's tapestry. The air is warm, the scent of herbs strong, and she hums the healer's chant, its melody low, a prayer for wisdom and care. Cato tries mixing, his hands hesitant, and Amina guides him, their fingers brushing the herbs. The salve grows, its texture simple but strong, and Amina nods, satisfied. She thinks of the offering waiting, its remedies needing her skill. But for now, she stays with Cato, his progress, a quiet joy. The market's hum grows louder, traders calling, and Amina steps outside to fetch water, her clay jug heavy in her hands. She weaves through the crowd, her sandals soft on the earth, passing stalls of beads, flax, and sorghum, their colors glowing under the sun. A trader offers her a handful of millet, its earthy scent tempting, and she shakes her head with a smile, her focus on Quito's lesson. The air is warm, scented with sorghum and dust, and she fills her jug at the river, the water cool against her skin. She returns to the hut, the reed lamp glowing softly, and sets the jug by the mat. Cato is grinding now, his hands steadier, the soft scent rising in the air. Amina nods, her heart full, and continues the lesson, her voice soft, explaining how to store remedies, how to chant their powers, the day unfolding gently around them. The sun is high, warming the hut, and Amina pauses, her fingers brushing a myrrh leaf, its texture soft under her nails. She thinks of her grandmother, who taught her to teach, her hands patient, her voice a gentle lullaby. The memory is a soft glow, like the lamp's light, and Amina feels her presence, a quiet strength in her hands. She shares another story of a healer who chanted to the Nile, easing its flow, and Cato listens, his eyes bright, his hands steady. The market's hum is a distant song, and Amina feels Nubia's pulse, warm and alive in their work. The midday sun bathes the village in golden light, and Amina's hut is warm, the air thick with the soft scent of herbs. Cato is gone, his lesson done, and the pestle hums softly, its stone resting by the mat. Amina sits on a woven mat, sorting herbs, when a neighbor calls from the doorway. An elder Nea needs a remedy for a village offering, its herbs sacred and fine. Amina nods, her hands steady, and gathers her finest aloe, the soft scent of myrrh rising. The markets hum a gentle wave outside, the air scented with roasted sorghum and date palms. She steps to the riverbank to fetch lotus flowers, the paths crowded with farmers tending sorghum and traders offering beads, their colors bright under the sun, red like ochre, green like malachite, blue like turquoise. Traders call out, their voices blending with the bleating of goats and the chatter of weavers, a gentle hum that wraps around her like a woven cloth. Amina weaves through the crowd, her sandals soft on the earth, her basket heavy with herbs, the air warm with sorghum and dust. A trader offers her a handful of dates, their sweetness tempting, and she shakes her head with a smile, her focus on Nia's offering. She passes a potter, her jars gleaming under the sun, and listens for a moment, the rhythm like a lullaby, steady and calm. The riverbank is a crossroads, where Nubia's crafts meet the Nile, and Amina is part of it, her healing a quiet gift to its people. She reaches a lotus patch, its blooms high and white, and trades a small salve for a bundle, their petals soft like the dawn. Back in her hut, Amina prepares the remedy, her hands gentle, grinding lotus with care, the soft scent of flowers rising. She adds aloe, its gel deepening the blend, the air thick with the earthy tang of herbs. The mortar hums softly as she works, its stone ready, a vessel for Nia's offering. She thinks of the ceremony, its prayers and chants, and the remedy that will honor the gods. Her work is quiet, a small leaf in the village's story, but it matters. She knows, like the river that binds the fields to the world. Amina grinds, her hands moving with care, the mortar blending smoothly, the soft hum of the herbs blending with the market's hum. She forms a sacred paste, its lotus and aloe fine and holy, and chants softly, her voice praising the Nile's spirits. She thinks of the village's elders, their voices rising in rituals, and her remedy, a bridge to the divine. Her work is quiet, a small thread in the village's tapestry, but it matters, she knows, like the fields that bind the community to the world. She hums a healer's chant, its melody low, a prayer for soothing and strength, and thinks of her grandmother, who healed for offerings too, her hands steady, her chants soothing. The memory is warm, like the sun on her skin, and Amina feels her presence, a quiet strength in her hands. The paste grows, its herbs sacred and pure, and she nods, satisfied, the day's rhythm steady as her breath. The market's hum drifts in, traders calling, and she steps outside to fetch water, her clay jug heavy in her hands. Amina weaves through the crowd, her sandals soft on the earth, passing stalls of beads, flax, and sorghum, their colors glowing under the sun. A trader offers her a handful of millet, its earthy scent tempting, and she shakes her head with a smile, her focus on Nia's offering. The air is warm, scented with sorghum and dust, and she fills her jug at the river, the water cool against her skin. She returns to the hut, the reed lamp glowing softly, and sets the jug by the mat. The paste waits, its herbs bright and clear, and Amina continues, her hands moving with care. The soft hum of the mortar, a steady rhythm. Amina pauses to check the paste, its texture perfect, and thinks of Nia, her offering glowing with her craft, her work a quiet gift to the gods. She hums her grandmother's chant, its melody low, a prayer for strength and care, and feels the village's pulse, warm and alive, in her hands. The market's hum grows louder, traders calling, and she steps outside, the air warm with sorghum and dust. She passes an elder, her voice rising in a tale of the sun god, and listens for a moment, the words like a lullaby, their rhythm steady and calm. The sun is high, warming the hut, and Amina returns, her fingers brushing a lotus petal, its texture soft under her nails. She thinks of her grandmother, who taught her to heal with care, her hands patient, her voice a gentle lullaby. The memory is a soft glow, like the lamp's light, and Amina feels her presence, a quiet strength in her hands. She adds the petal to her mortar, its scent bright against the blend, and checks her herbs, ensuring she has enough for the day. The market's hum is a distant song, and Amina feels Nubia's rhythm, steady and calm, guiding her hands. Amina grinds, her hands moving with care, the mortar blending smoothly, the soft hum of the herbs blending with the market's hum. She thinks of Naya, her paste a sacred gift, and feels a quiet pride, her work a thread in the village's tapestry. The sunlight spills across the hut, warming the earth, and she feels ready, her heart calm, her work a steady rhythm, like the fields that bind the village to the world. The afternoon sun casts long shadows across the village, and Amina sits in her hut, the air warm with the soft scent of herbs. Nia's paste is prepared, its jar resting by the platform, and the pestle hums softly, its stone worn and steady. Amina sorts a new basket of herbs when a shadow falls across the doorway. A chief's aide Zuberi stands there, his robe marked with the chief's patterns, his voice calm but firm. The chief needs a brew for a festival, its herbs potent and fine. Amina nods, her hands steady, and gathers her strongest myrrh, the soft scent of aloe rising. The market's hum a gentle wave outside. The chief's platform lies beyond the riverbank, its mud brick walls rising like the village's tallest huts, their reeds swaying in the breeze. Amina steps outside, her sandals soft on the earth, and weaves through the paths. Its fields crowded with farmers tending sorghum and traders offering beads. Their colors bright tread like ochre, green like malachite, blue like turquoise. Traders call out, their voices blending with the bleating of goats and the chatter of weavers. A gentle hum that wraps around her like a woven cloth. She passes a weaver, her flax gleaming under the sun, and listens for a moment. The rhythm like a lullaby, steady and calm. A trader offers her a handful of sorghum, its nutty scent tempting, and she shakes her head with a smile. Her focus on Zuberi's brew. She reaches the platform, its courtyard shaded by date palms, the air scented with sorghum from a nearby hearth. Her hands gentle, sorting herbs with care. She promises a potent brew, its herbs fit for the chief's honor, and Zuberi nods, his eyes sharp but kind, the day's rhythm guiding her like the river's flow. Amina returns to her hut, the market's hum fading, and prepares the mortar, her hands gentle, grinding herbs with care, the soft scent of myrrh rising. She blends a healing brew, its aloe and lotus, bold and intricate, the soft hum of the pestle blending with the field's hum. She thinks of Nubia's chiefs, their festivals uniting kin, and her brew, a bridge to their strength. Her work is quiet, a small leaf in the village's story, but it matters, she knows, like the river that binds the fields to the world. She hums a healer's chant, its melody low, a prayer for soothing and strength, and thinks of her grandmother, who healed for chiefs too, her hands steady, her chants soothing. The memory is warm, like the sun on her skin, and Amina feels her presence, a quiet strength in her hands. The market's hum drifts in, traders calling, and she steps outside to fetch water, her clay jug heavy in her hands. Amina weaves through the crowd, her sandals soft on the earth, passing stalls of beads, flax, and sorghum, their colors glowing under the sun. A trader offers her a handful of dates, their sweetness tempting, and she shakes her head with a smile, her focus on Zuberi's brew. The air is warm, scented with sorghum and dust, and she fills her jug at the river, the water cool against her skin. She returns to the hut, the reed lamp glowing softly, and sets the jug by the mat. The brew waits, its herbs bright and clear, and Amina continues, her hands moving with care, the soft hum of the mortar, a steady rhythm. Amina pauses to check the brew, its texture perfect, and thinks of Zuberi, his festival glowing with her craft, her work a quiet gift to the chief's honor. She hums her grandmother's chant, its melody low, a prayer for strength and care, and feels the village's pulse, warm and alive, in her hands. The market's hum grows louder, traders calling, and she steps outside, the air warm with sorghum and dust. She passes an elder, her voice rising in a tale of the moon goddess, and listens for a moment, the words like a lullaby, their rhythm steady and calm. The sun is low, warming the hut, and Amina returns, her fingers brushing a myrrh leaf, its texture soft under her nails. She thinks of her grandmother, who taught her to heal with care, her hands patient, her voice a gentle lullaby. The memory is a soft glow, like the lamp's light, and Amina feels her presence, a quiet strength in her hands. She adds the leaf to her mortar, its scent bright against the blend, and checks her herbs, ensuring she has enough for the day. The market's hum is a distant song, and Amina feels Nubia's rhythm, steady and calm, guiding her hands. Amina grinds, her hands moving with care, the mortar blending smoothly, the soft hum of the herbs blending with the market's hum. She thinks of Zuberi, his brew, a gift to the festival, and feels a quiet pride, her work a thread in the village's tapestry. The sunlight spills across the hut, warming the earth, and she feels ready, her heart calm, her work a steady rhythm, like the fields that bind the village to the world. The sun dips low, casting a golden glow across the village, and Amina sits in her hut, the air cool with the soft scent of herbs. Zubairi's brew is prepared, its jar resting by the platform, and the pestle is quiet, its stone still under the reed lamp's glow. Amina sorts the last of her herbs, her hands dusted with aloe, and thinks of the day-blending Jabari's salve, teaching Cato, preparing Nia's offering, crafting Zubairi's brew. Each task is a leaf, she thinks, woven into Nubia's story, her work quiet but vital. She rises, her sandals soft on the earth, and steps outside, the stars sparkling above, a blanket of light over the village. Amina walks through the quiet village, the mud-brick huts dark under the night sky, their reed roofs cool under her touch. The Nile River glitters in the distance, its whispers faint but steady, a lullaby for the village. She passes a communal fire, its embers glowing faintly, and hears the soft hum of an elder's chant, its melody blending with the night. The village's pulse is slow now, its rhythm gentle, like the beat of a distant mbira. She sits on a smooth rock near her hut, the stars bright above, their light soft, like the glow of her reed lamp. Amina thinks of her grandmother, whose chants still guide her hands, and hums one now, its melody low, a healer's prayer for strength and care. The night is calm, the air cool against her skin, and she feels a connection to the village's healers, their wisdom passed through generations. The village is small, its sorghum and herbs shared among kin, but Amina's work is here, in the village's heart, soothing life one remedy at a time. The stars shine brighter, their light spilling across the sky, and Amina thinks of Cato, her nephew, who will carry this knowledge forward. She imagines Jabari's burns, her salve easing his pain, and Nia's offering, her paste glowing under torches. Zubairi's festival echoes in her mind, a reminder of the village's unity. And she feels a quiet pride, her work a small but vital part of that legacy. The air is scented with the faint sweetness of acacia, a comfort from her hut, and she leans back, the rock cool under her hands, the day's rhythm steady as her breath. Amina rises, her sandals soft on the earth, and walks back to her hut, the stars a soft light above. The reed lamp flickers inside, its glow warm, and she prepares for rest, her basket empty, her remedies shared. The village sleeps around her, its huts silent under the stars, its fields quiet until dawn. She lies on her woven mat, the air cool and calm, and closes her eyes, the world fading, its sounds softening the river's whispers, the elders' hum, the distant beat of a harp. Her work is done, her remedy shared, and Amina drifts into sleep, carried by the gentle rhythm of Nubia's legacy. The night wraps around her, its stars a soft light through the window, and her hut is quiet, the scent of herbs lingering, a promise of tomorrow's care. The Nile flows on, its rhythm steady, and she dreams of her grandmother's chants, of the village's riverbank, of a land where healers blend with love. The village rests, its pulse calm, and Amina sleeps, her hands still, her heart at peace, woven into Africa's story. As Amina rests under the village's starry skies, her remedies and chants woven into Nubia's heart, we leave her to her dreams, her hands still with care. Ancient Africa, with its riverbanks, elders, and sunlit fields, fades into the night, but its stories live on, carried by healers like her. Thank you for joining us on this gentle journey with the sleepy story. May the whispers of the ancient Nile carry you to peace. Whether you're drifting to sleep or resting in history's glow, sleep well, dear dreamer, and we'll meet again under another sky in another time. YouTube description.